someone who may have a substance abuse problem, or just the idea that you don't want them to have this huge lump sum of money.
Absolutely.
You want to sprinkle it throughout their lifetime.
Mhm. It's good protection. It's really good protection, not just for the person who's giving it away, but even for that beneficiary, I feel, because it allows that person to still have like a source of income without necessarily having to give it all up, as
Yeah,
long as it's very limited to what those funds are, what are there for. Creditors really can't touch that if it's
100%.
not, if whatever that person ran up those credit cards for were not for those particular, things that the trust was providing. So
Yeah.
pretty interesting what you could do with the spendthrift trust.
And I think what's interesting is how there's so many different types of trusts. I mean, I think a lot of times people look online and they say they like trust is not for me, it's not good. But there's so many different kinds. So it's good to explore, good to ask.
Absolutely.
So Sarah, her worries were misplaced. For Paul, the insult of the will had stirred in him this drive, this compulsion. Apparently, Klaus von Bülow, a top lieutenant at the Getty Oil, later described Paul's attitude. His dad was going to eat his words. Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Made him feel like, oh no, I'm not going to waste this money. So he put all his energy and profits back into the company and the trust. His biggest bet on the oil prospects of a region between Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, and that was huge. It was just a big return for everything in his family. So within 50 years, the trust has grown thousandfold to $4 billion. $4 billion. And again, in today's terms, it's like a zillion.
Exactly.
So
Go with
he
the
vowed to
times.
create a Getty dynasty. And this was more of a financial concept than a familiar one. So he apparently, in his background, a little bit of background, he had 5 divorces, 5 sons from whom he was really distant. He didn't even attend their weddings. The alimony and child support, he said, did not suggest the magnitude of his wealth. So meaning it probably was nothing. In 1957, Fortune magazine crowned him the richest American, and his sons were shocked. Oh, can you imagine? Like they probably like, wait, that's dad and huh? Oh,
What? And you're hot and you're the richest what? I'm like,
yeah.
wait a minute.
Yeah. So he even said, I felt no qualms about likening the Getty Oil Company to an empire and myself as Caesar. Oh, now the ego. I'm starting to like him. I kind of
Course.
liked him, fun guy, then, hardworking guy. But now it sounds ego. He installed a payphone at Sutton Place. That was his 72-room mansion in the English countryside to avoid paying for guests' long distance calls. His last wife, a singer named Teddy Getty, I mean, yeah, you just got to have that name, Teddy Getty, had to beseech him to pay for maternity clothes, pointing out that he could deduct them from his taxes. Man, he went the other way as an
Mhm.
for a performing career. When their son